Not so much good news coming out of the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Um, just a little above 24 hours to their semi-final clash with the Bafana Bafana of South Africa. Starman Victor Osimhen is said to be down with an abdominal problem and is currently being examined by a medical personnel in Abidjan. You know that Nigeria have been playing all their games in Abidjan, but they've flown to Bake, where they will be meeting South Africa in the semi-final tomorrow. Welcome to our preview of the two semi-final matches of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. My name remains Ashalolu Afemi. James Agberebi and Kyle Dogundari, they are here, and of course we'll be looking at these two Titanic clashes. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Good morning. Happy to be here.
Okay, all right. It's been awesome to be on this journey with you guys, and to our fans across the world. We cannot appreciate you enough for your company, for your support, for viewing our videos, for comments and all that. We appreciate you so much. We do not take it lightly. Kyle, I'll start with you. It seems God has begun to answer the prayers of the Bafana Bafana of South Africa, because in a task statement, very short statement released on Monday night here in Nigeria, Super Eagles handler said Osimhen down with abdominal problem, and they say we will fly to Abidjan to Bake today via Ivory Coast flight. The statement: Victor Osimhen will not join us on this trip as a result of an abdominal discomfort. Team medic confirmed that he has been placed under close watch with a member of the medical team staying behind in Abidjan with him. If cleared by tomorrow morning, that's the statement, he will join the rest of the squad before 5 p.m. Kyle, how good or how bad is this news is for Nigeria and good for South Africa?
Well, I think it's not only for Nigeria as a country; it is also for Victor Osimhen as a player. These are the games you want to be involved in as a player. You want to play all of the big games, and I think he has worked very hard to be at this stage. He has practically dragged the team to this stage. You expect that he would want to play in this game because he wants to win the AFCON. His African Footballer of the Year would ultimately be meaningless to him if he does not win this title. And like, it would be, I'm sure it's one of the regrets a player will have in his lifetime, thinking what could have happened if he got to play in the game like this. So hopefully, because on both sides, for the remaining games in the competition, we want all the full complements of players to play, so that nobody will come and tell us that it was because he was not available or because he did not play. That's why his team lost. So I am praying seriously that Osimhen gets well enough to be a part of this competition. Of course, Osimhen not playing is a big blow for him and for the country, but then I want to believe that Nigeria have suitable replacements for him who have not had the opportunity to play before now. Although, like I keep saying to a lot of people, I said Osimhen comes into games with more than just goals. Of course, he has got just one, but you cannot take away his contribution in every of Nigerians' goal thus far in this competition. So he will be sorely missed, but I'm very sure that the Nigerians will have a suitable replacement for him.
Okay, James, all prayers are up now. 5 p.m. is, I'm sure, Head Coach Joseph Pesero must have given the medical team that timeline that if he doesn't join by 5 p.m., he might likely not be part of that game against Bafana Bafana. So all prayers are up now. Like how they said, do you agree that he's going to not only be a big miss for all the Eagles, even for himself? Because I remember in an interview with a foreign media outfit, he said he's not really bothered about not scoring in Ivory Coast, but his biggest dream is to win the AFCON. And like how they said, these are the kind of matches that takes you to the final.
Yes, every big player wants to be involved in every crucial games in major tournaments. So I remember in 2013, Emmanuel Menike, after helping Nigeria to the final, he missed the final. Luckily for the Super Eagles, they were just like moving train. So they didn't feel his no, they didn't really feel his absence, but I mean, you know that if you had played in that game, that maybe we would have defeated Burkina Faso more than one goal, But Osimhen, it was going to be a big miss, honestly, because for somebody who has, I find a lot of people say he has scored only just one goal, but if you check out his work rate in all the games that the Super Eagles have played, you will know that he brings more than goals in the team. And we also saw that during the World Cup qualifiers, his absence it showed. It showed. It was so glaring that he is the main man when it comes to the attack, because there's this thing about he brings this kind of fear in defenders, which kind of paved the way for the other players. That was one of the reasons why people like Moses Simon and Ademola Lookman. That's why you see that they've stepped up, because they know that they have somebody who will scare the hell out of the opponents while they just come in and do the damage. So he's not scoring. He's not it at all. It's his work rate. Hopefully, he's going to overcome the abdominal issue and play in this game, because we cannot afford to miss him. Fine, we have other guys who can come in, but I don't know whether I don't think they have that hunger. That he's the kind of player who give like 150%. I don't know if the other one, the other guy, whoever it does, if he doesn't make it, well, I don't know whether the likes of Murphy or Paul Nachu will give as much as he normally gives, So let's just keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully he's going to overcome it, and we'll see him play in the final, in the semi-final.
Okay, all right. Osimhen, though he has only one goal so far, he has made the highest number of shot attempts at the AFCON, 19 in total. Let's also state that yesterday the Egyptian FA, they fired Victoria. We knew that was going to happen eventually. So at the moment, Egypt will be looking for a new coach for the remaining games of that 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now, let's get into it. Yesterday, there was a statement from the Nigeria Commission in Pretoria warning Nigerians in South Africa not to celebrate too widely if the Eagles eventually beat Bafana Bafana. I don't know what to say to this, but it's one of the things that dominated the media yesterday before the news about Osimhen broke late last night. What do you make of this, Kyle? They remember the issue with xenophobia, Nigerians being attacked and killed in most cases in South Africa. What do you make of this, Kyle?
I think it is a timely warning, and it is a very, very sad one for me, because if we do not be above all of these things, I don't know how much different we are from animals if we cannot, no matter what happens, it is still a game of football. I thought about it, especially when I saw some comments on social media about the Grammy and everything, and I feel this shouldn't be. Whatever happens, whoever wins, we should just take it as sportsmen and go on. Life goes on for me, Femi. I think I've gotten to a stage in life that things like this don't bother me. At the end of 90 minutes, I do a review of games, and that's all. I do not have time to worry about what could have been. So if people are now scared to celebrate their victory, then there's something fundamentally wrong with us as a people. Whatever happens, let them celebrate. Although I agree with the High Commission that it is for their own safety, for their own good, because a game shouldn't be played in Ivory Coast, and then there will be a fracas in South Africa simply because your team lost. So what happens if you win? You are free to celebrate because you're in your country, but others are not free to celebrate. Something is wrong, Femi.
In this game, because we know that Hugo Bruce want to stop a number of key players in the Super Eagles, particularly after the victory over Cape Verde. Made mention of Ademola Lookman, and of course, he'll be looking at stopping Moses Simon. And if Osimhen eventually plays also, how crucial do you think video analysts will be for Bafana Bafana, even for Super Eagles, are going into this game?
Well, video analysts, what they do, just come around and do their job. They will not be on the pitch, So it's now left for whether you're able to all what they've discussed, whether the players will be able to exhibit this on the pitch. We've seen teams with analysts and everything, they still get bashed. So It's what you do on the pitch. You don't know the plans that the opponent that you are trying to neutralize. You don't know their own plans for you. So it's when the two teams meet, that's when you know who's going to take the game. So I know the importance of video analysis just to aid the team to look who and who to. It's obvious if you check out the Nigerian team, you don't need even a blind man to know that the Super Eagles, the main threats are the front men. So you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that these are the guys who are going to lead the line. Hopefully, if Osimhen gets over the abdominal issue, you know that he was going to spare the attack, and they will be supported by Ademola Lookman and Moses Simon. So they are just doing their job. We've seen, like I said, we've seen teams with all the best facilities, all the best crew, and they still get defeated. So it's about planning. So once you get your stuff right and you take your chances, you won't be thinking about whether one team they're analyzing your strength and your weaknesses.
Okay, all right. Kayode, let's look at how the game might likely pan out. There has been there is this expectation that South Africans might want to drag the game to penalty shootout like we saw against Cape Verde. They just couldn't match up with the Cape Verdeans when it comes to the pace of the game and attack as well. There are insinuations that they might want to sit back against Nigeria, then perhaps rely on Robin Williams again in the shootout to take them to the final.
Well, good luck to them if that's the plan. If they plan to take the game to penalties and the constitution does not allow them, then I don't know. I'm sure that could be a fallback option for me. It will not be the main plan. The main plan would be to win the game because, there's no guarantees that when games go to penalties, you're going to win. There's no guarantee. Nobody can give you that assurance that you're going to win penalties. Penalties are decided. It could go either way.
Robin Williams saved 4 against Cape Verde.
Yeah, it's a lottery. The same Robin Williams could, in another contest, face another team or even face the same Cape Verde tomorrow and not be able to stop one. Of course, like I told you, the last time we were here, I said I saw what the backroom staff did with him. I saw where they were telling him, this player is going to your right, this one is going to your left, and he followed everything to the letter. So for me, if I were the South Africans, I would not rely on that. Number one, that would be self-defeatist because Nigeria will not stop coming at you. The only problem I have with the Nigerian team is because they've gotten used to a certain way of play. If eventually Osimhen does not get to play, that means you're either going to start an Onuachu who you had used sparingly in the previous games, or a Teremofi who has not even kicked the ball. How do you intend to fit Teremofi into the system that has worked for you all through the competition? Could be a very, very big one. Of course, there's the Kelechi Iheanacho there. Kelechi will struggle in this present formation. That means you have to tweak the formation if you're going to bring in a Kelechi Iheanacho. So a whole lot of scenarios that you could play around with in this game. The least of them is to hope that this game goes to penalties for me. That would be like you hoping against hope. Nothing is certain.
Okay. All right. We do not know whether the Super Eagles are actually preparing for that scenario itself. James, 12 matches head-to-head between Nigeria and South Africa, and Nigeria have won 7, and just one for Bafana Bafana. You can see the gap. The gap is huge. Do you expect, or would you expect the Super Eagles to make it 8 wins against Bafana Bafana?
Yeah, it might go either way. They might make it 8, while Bafana might get their second competitive win. Their first ever win against Super Eagles was in the Mandela Challenge in 2004 when they won 2-1. Then they defeated the Super Eagles in the AFCON qualifier 2019. AFCON 2019 qualifiers in Uyo 2-0.
Okay.
So that was their first ever competitive
I think that was under Genotro, right?
Yes, under Genotro. So they have 2 wins. That if you want to count the Mandela Challenge win in 2004. So you say they have 2 victories against the Super Eagles. So it might go either way. So it depends on who does what on the day. That's the most important thing. Who who was able to carry out the plan and tactics. So it's going to be an interesting one. Fine, and the thing is, the South Africans will go into the game knowing fully well that the Super Eagles is the only team, the only big team in Africa that they've not been able to crack that code. They've defeated Ghana in the past, they defeated Cameroon, they defeated Morocco, Egypt, but Super Eagles still remain that team that they know that this team will just go there and hopefully will win, because it has been way back in the days of the Rashidi Yekinis. And I remember the first ever meeting was a 4-0 victory for Super Eagles. The Super Eagles defeated them 4-0 twice. Defeated them in the Mandela Challenge, So that's just it for them. So they know that they have their hands full. No matter how they try to be confident, they always know that when it comes to the Super Eagles, there's always this thing about them, this mental block. It has been there for over 30 years now, and let's see whether they'll be able to break that code, because they know that going to this, they are the underdogs.
James, you are bringing out the old wound. Of course, South Africa, they will be playing in their fourth semi-final in AFCON history, and this is going to be their first since year 2000, when they lost to Nigeria 2-0 in that competition hosted by Nigeria and Ghana. Kaude, before we go to DR Congo and Ivory Coast, like James rightly said, how do you think the South Africans can overcome this mental blockage? When they come face to face with Nigeria, you look at the head-to-head, the gash is just so wide. How do you think they can overcome it in this game? Because a lot of ex-internationals are actually saying that is going to be there. They are going to be confronted with what James rightly painted, that, okay, these people always have the advantage over us. But how do you think the Hugo Bruce side can get over this in this encounter?
The first way they are going to be able to overcome it is to discard the thinking that we hope to take this to penalties. Because that's the fear in them, the mental blockage that James talked about, if they actually have that plan. Why don't you think you could set up and win this game in 90 minutes? Why would you think, probably if we take it to extra time and penalty shootout, we have a chance? That's the mental blockage speaking. That's the first one. The second one is that they have, like, in this manager, Hugo Bruce, somebody who has worked this part before, somebody who has won this competition before in 2017 with Cameroon, who knows what it takes, and he has steered this South African team so excellently well that they are also potential champions. And of the 4 coaches left in the competition, he's the only one who has won this before. Femi, that will count for something. If they are able to leverage on his experience, because at this stage, the first thing they need to do is to calm down, play like it's just another game. Because the moment they start attaching too much importance to the game because it's Nigeria, that's the beginning of their failure. They have to play this game like it's just another game, take their chances when they come, play this game like without any blockage and anything. So those, if they are able to follow these 3, I think they should be home and good. But if they set up with that fear factor, then they might as well not even show up for the game.
Of course. So we expect the South Africans to bring their A game to this encounter. Remember, they eliminated Morocco 2-0 in the round of 16. No one saw that coming. So should they bring that mentality to this game, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will have a tough encounter in their hands. Now let's talk about DR Congo versus Ivory Coast. James, after Nigeria, Ivory Coast, they are the favorite to win this competition. But if you look at it, out of the 5 games that they've played, they've only won once in 90 minutes. So that tells a lot about the struggles of the hosts at this competition. Now, against Democratic Republic of Congo, who have proven that they are more like giant killers. We saw them 3-1 victory against Guinea. No one saw that coming. Now, how much of a matchup do you think this is going to be? The host playing in front of, they'll still be playing in Abidjan. This game is going to be taking place in Abidjan at the Olympic Stadium. So it is still going to be in front of the roaring fans. But the mentality of the Ivorians, forget the fact that, okay, they've been able to beat Senegal, they were able to beat Mali, but out of 5 games, they've only won once inside 90 minutes against a DRC they've got better also by each game at the competition.
For me, the Ivory Coast, fine, they've gotten to this stage, but I still have my fears about them. And it might, at the end of the day, they might crack in one of these big games. Because all I see that they do is just come to the game. The fans, it's the fans that's even pushing them now, not even the players from what I've seen. They push them and they give their all. How long are you going to continue doing this? I mean, you concede first, then you now have to fight. You're not going to continue. It's not all teams that you meet that you think once you concede against them, you'll be able to come back. It was just carelessness on the part of the Malians. I mean, you goal up, you had the man advantage, they just didn't manage just poor management. We're not as if what's it called? Ivory Coast were just over fantastic. Even some referees would have even called for a free kick because there was an infringement leading to the goal. But the referee just decided to allow to go on. Maybe home advantage, you never can tell. So for me, this game I won't give it to the Ivorians 100% because the DRC team, they've shown that they can match up against any team. These are former champions, so you cannot look them down and say you're going to overrun them. They are former champions. You have to respect them for that. The two teams are 2 times former champions, 2 times champions of the AFCON. So for a team like the DRC who have been getting victories, they've been growing into the competition against a team that we all know how they got to this stage. So for me, it's an open game. I won't say because they're playing at home, they are overwhelming favorite because they've struggled. They've been playing under that pressure, and the help from the fans have really pushed them. So I don't know how far this is going to continue. They just have to think of something else to do so that they will not get on scot. It's not all like I said, it's not all the team that you concede first and you think you will come back against.
Okay. Kayode, in AFCON, of course, Ivory Coast, they've met DR Congo 5 times, won 2, draw 2, and lost once. But with what Ivory Coast have played so far, would you say this team has the mental capability to continue this run? Because we've seen that they can struggle. We saw that against Mali. We saw that even against Senegal. If not that the circumstances that surrounded that game, we don't know if Senegal would have still been in the competition by now. 5 matches, 2 wins, 2 draws, just 1 defeat. Do you think this Ivorian team can take it enough higher tomorrow?
Something that is working for the Ivorians is that they are running on empty tank. That's for sure. They are running on empty tank. They are going through games by sheer willpower, not because they offer, and I'm not sold on the
quality
team, actually. Not that they offer any quality, they are just sold on sheer determination that we want to do something because of the fans, we feel challenged. If you take the players individually, you could say, oh, this one is good. But as a team, they've not performed at all. Even against the Malians that they won at the death, I would still have expected something else. Against this DR Congo side, I've seen the DR Congo play very well. They are a team that will take their chances when they get them. I can assure you, they are not spectacular, they are just solid. But what they do is they don't fail to take their chances when they have it. Against Guinea, the Guineans were like, they made a mistake, they got punished. And this way, when the DR Congo, when the Congolese sense blood, they go in for the kill. You see everybody moving them. So if they catch the Ivorians on the back foot, regardless of where the game is played, they are going to show them what they are made for. But if you ask me, I think the Ivorians will just edge this game. But if they go to penalties, I will not think Ivory Coast will win it on penalties.
Okay. Of course, we saw DR Congo. One of their biggest achievements was eliminating Egypt in the round of 16. Now, James, let's talk about this DR Congo still. What do you think the secret of this team? For me, they are one of the, I would say, let's forget about their pedigree. They've won the AFCON twice, we know. But on paper, at the start of the tournament, I'm sure if you were to write the 4 teams that will play in the semi-finals, they wouldn't even be number 8 or even number 10 out of the 24 teams that started the competition. Apart from Wisa, no place for Brentford in England that everybody knows. You can hardly point to another key man in there, but they've continued to grind out results gradually, and they're in the semi-final. What do you think is the secret as we wrap up?
Yeah, Femi, they have an experienced captain, Mpemba, who scored against Guinea. So he's an experienced player who has been in the team for a very long time. They have a visa. They have they have experienced hands. One thing about this team, Femi, we are saying Super Eagles favorite, and people are overlooking this DRC team that they are gradually. You saw they are already in the tournament. You saw they've grown into the tournament, so you cannot just look down on them. They've shown that they can play, they can score goals. The game against Guinea, they came from behind. That will show you that this team, mentally they are there, you know. So for me, like I told you, this is a team that you cannot disrespect. They are former champions of this competition because because the last time they won it was 1974. So which means they are looking for a way to at least get this tournament again, you know. So they are doing it, and they are doing it well. For me, put them side by side with this current Ivorian team, I would pick them because they look more compact. They're a balanced team. You know, you see that this is a well-coached team, a team that is not playing under pressure. When it's considered against Guinea, you think they will fold, but they were able to fight. I think they are the only team that has scored the highest goal margin in the quarterfinals, 3-1. You know, so for me, a team like that took out a very good Guinean side. I mean, Femi, you cannot just look them aside, look on them that they cannot do much. Fine, they came into the competition not at all favorite, but getting to this stage, Femi, I think I'm going to tip them as one of the favorites to win it.
All right. So tomorrow there's going to be another big test for Emas Faye, the caretaker manager of the Elephant of Cote d'Ivoire. And of course, Pesero, he has his job saved now because remember the agreement with Nigeria Football Federation, of course, sports minister as well, was to at least take the Super Eagles to the semi-final. But he wants to take it in notch, even possibly win the fourth title for Nigeria at the AFCON. Kyle and James, thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you, tomorrow, Femi. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, Femi. Thank you.
All right. So we wish all the 4 teams all the best as they hope to make it to the final. Of course, we'll be looking at that closely, particularly the issue of Victor Osimhen. We will be monitoring that also very closely. Hopefully, we'll be able to overcome the abdominal discomfort and join the team in Bake for the game against South Africa. We'll see you all next time. I remain Ashalolu Afemi. Bye for now.